Hey everybody, it's hwsteele. Today is August 27th, 2020, which is not the day this video is being released, but hey, that's when I have the time to record it. So anyway, in this video, I just simply want to do an update to the Amazon, there we go, to the Amazon forecast, which is simply the 7-day forecast. And if we look over here, we can see it says 7 times because of the 7-day forecast. But anyway, I just wanted to do an update on that, check on what happened here, and we can bring it forward the couple of months that I haven't actually dealt with it. And then I'm going to talk about what I think the general market is going to be doing over the next couple of years, kind of. We'll see. Okay, so we had a low here, and then we were forecasting a high here. So this is definitely higher than this low. And then we move down to this date right here, and we see that the low of this point is definitely lower than the high that's over here. Now in reality, it would be that the high came in probably right about here, and then the low came in right about here, but it is higher here and it is lower here, so that is actually a successful forecast. It's sloppy though. Now we have the low here, and then we have the high up here, and this actually touches the highest point in price here, so that was pretty good right there. And then we had a low right here, so this is definitely lower than this point right here. So this part of the forecast worked out just fine as far as time goes and the pivots, so forth. Even though this wasn't as clean as we would have liked it, it was still decent enough to be called successful on the actual day of, meaning there's no orb to speak of, meaning this is higher than this is here, and it's on the actual forecasted days. And so moving on here, we have July 28th. We add 7 days to that because it's 29, 30, 31, August 4th for a high. So we will go up to August 4th here, and then down to August 11th right here, and then up to August 18th right here, and then down to August 25th right here, and then 25, let's see, 30, 31, September 1st. Let me count that out. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and September 1st. Okay, wanted to make sure that I was accurate there. And then we have September 8th right here, and then September 15th right here. Whoops, we were right there, weren't we? And then the 22nd right there, and then 7 to 22 added to 22 is the 29th right there, and then that would be October 6th would be the forecasted low right there. Okay, so I'm going to move this guy up here. That's the 7th. That worked out. This one right here, and that was the very high right there. Then this guy moved lower to this point, and from this point we're moving up to the 4th of August. And then from the 4th of August, we move down to the 11th of August, which is right here. So that move was successful, even though, again, like over here, it wasn't perfectly clean. It was still successful on day of with 0 orb. So then we have August 12th moving up to the 18th. 18th is right there. Moving down to the 25th. That's the 25 right there, and technically got a lower point right there, so that was successful, even though it probably would have been that one right there. So then we move from this low up to a high on September 1st, which is up here, and then we want to move this back to September 1st. So this is what we're looking at right here as bringing it current. And so the past few months, everything has worked out, and with zero orb, it's been essentially successful, even though by pushing it or pulling it one day, we would have got a much nicer looking much closer to the tops and bottoms with a little bit of exception. So we can see here that this 7 days, just adding 7 days, tops and bottoms, is continuing to work very well in the Amazon.com stock. So I encourage you to follow along and push the forecast forward yourself and watch it and contemplate what could be done to improve it. So now the other thing that I wanted to talk about just briefly is the general market. And the general market, I mean essentially the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And I use that average because it will, how should I say it? It dates back way longer than the S&P 500 and significantly longer than the NASDAQ. Now, typically what happens is, in Gann's day, the Dow Jones was the big new, it was relatively new indices, and it took over like the railroad stocks, and basically that's what it was. It took over the railroad stocks that were popular in the 1800s and so forth. But anyway, the point is, the Dow used to be what you would follow for the main market movements, right? And then the S&P 500 came along in the 50s, and it quickly surpassed the Dow Jones Industrial Average as the new big thing, and that was the market that would more closely follow what was actually going on in the economy, so to speak. And then we'd have we had the NASDAQ come around, and that's the technology sector, the new technology sector, computers and microchips, basically. And that one is leading now. That's the current big boy. And until they come up with something else, and who knows what that will be, the NASDAQ is the one that typically leads the market. And that's evident in the fact that the NASDAQ has had more record highs this year than either the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones Industrial Average. In fact, if we look here, we can see this is what the NASDAQ looks like. You know, this is 2018, 2019, 2020, and it's just shot way up right there. If we go to the S&P 500, right here, we see that it looks different, as in it's broken into new highs recently, but it has not made anywhere near the headway that the NASDAQ has. And then of course we have the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Get rid of that little guy. And from the high we had here in February, we have not come back and hit a new record high with the Dow Jones Industrial Average yet. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure that we're going to make it into a new high. We entirely possibly could. Might just see a double top. I'm not sure. But I'm predicting that there will be a topping to the market, and that there will be a low, quite possibly a double bottom in the move down that comes for the market. I have two specific dates, April 18th, 2021, I'm watching, and then July 2nd, 2022, I'm watching. And both of those, through two different methods, point to there being a large bottom in the market. So those are the dates specifically at this point, the exact dates that I'm looking for big time bottoms in specifically the Dow Jones Industrial Average, but essentially the other indices also. Although it might not be as dramatic. I mean, it could be, if we do have a genuine crash scenario coming up late this year, I would assume that the most affected would be the, there we go, the NASDAQ. although that could be completely opposite of what actually happens. It might just come down and rest on the top right here, but I would assume that it would come down. If we have an economic issue, as in the economy itself has some big problems, which wouldn't be a surprise to me at all, considering where we are in the grand scheme of things. But anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and give those 2 dates as of right now. And let's see, go back really quickly to Amazon. And there is the forecast. Continuation for Amazon. And I'll be doing another experiment in front of you guys later. I won't talk about that in any more detail, just tease the fact that I'll be doing that. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video, and I will talk to you in the next one.